Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bulldog Report. I'm Eddie Kalegi. Happy Friday. We are just about ready to go for some softball action, white and blue division matchup as the Metuchen Bulldogs, coming in at 11-1, a 9-0 blue division record, host JFK, who are 9-4 with an 8-3 record in the white division. Should be a great one. Metuchen has already had quite the showdown with the white division team just a week ago when they matched up with South Plainfield in a wild game that went back and forth till the very, very end, with Metuchen going up in the top of the 7th, losing it in the bottom of the 7th. But both these teams coming off of huge wins yesterday. For Metuchen, they picked up an 18-0 victory against South River. Well, the first time they played South River here, that game didn't even last a full inning. This time it actually went 4 innings before the mercy rule came into play. Abby Kozo went 3 for 3 with 3 RBI in that one. Noelle Leaf 2 for 3 with 3 runs scored. Mia Zapp 2 for 4 with a home run. And Brianna De La Fuente hit 2 for 3 with 2 doubles and 2 RBI. As for the JFK Memorial Mustangs, they won 17-0 over New Brunswick, second game in their last 3 against the Zebras, and they blew them apart both times. New Brunswick still winless, but the story was Olivia Sims, who's their star pitcher, who's pitched 66 innings this season to a 1.91 ERA, did not pitch that last game. Instead, they did a split between Valentina Mercado and Angelica Rosario, but they combined for a no-hitter with 8 strikeouts in a rare appearance for both of them. Torres and Rios had 3 RBI each, and Kylie Milage went 1 for 5 with a triple and 2 RBI. This JFK team, this is a powerful program. 2019, 21-3 was their record. They went 14-0 in the white division and went all the way to the GMC championship, where they ultimately fell 3-0 to St. Thomas Aquinas, and then were ousted in round 1 of the CJ Group 2 tournament against Matawan. But regardless, really, really strong from these players, and it's been a learning curve this year. They're in a similar boat to Metuchen. They only returned 2 players from their 2019 roster, but it certainly has not fazed them, as they have played extremely well with a young team composed of a lot of juniors and seniors, most of which were playing JV or not at all back in 2019. And for Metuchen, they just keep rolling. And I liked my dog puns from the last game. They're doing the impossible right now. They won 10 games overall in 2019, and that was a team with a lot of juniors and seniors. This year, they already have 11 wins, sitting at 11-1, looking for their 12th today. And if they get to 12-1, they'd tie their best start since 2013, when they went 19-8 and advanced to the CJ Group 2 Finals. So, a lot to be excited about. The coaches, Maureen Gallagher for JFK Memorial. For Metuchen, it's Hannah Thomas. Right now, the Bulldogs in control of the blue division at this point, sitting at a perfect 9-0 in blue division play, with Spotswood and Dunellen chasing behind at 9-2. As for JFK on the white division, they are in 4th. South Plainfield, who has already beaten both of these teams this season, are still 10-0 in the white division, and one of the top teams in the GMC, with Colonia and Woodbridge slotting in at 8-2. JFK 8-3, and they have a big game tomorrow. They play South Plainfield for the second time. They will be this time hosting South Plainfield. The first time they matched up was on the road, and the Tigers got the best of them 8-2. So, a lot to be excited about today as the Metuchen Bulldogs get ready to take the field against JFK, looking to get to 12-1 and tie their best start since 2013. And a lot of it has been due to their pitching staff, and their best pitcher once again, Abby Kozo, will be on the mound today. And Kozo, looking at her 39.2 innings pitched, she's struck out 60 batters already and pitched to a 1.59 ERA. The Metuchen pitching staff has shut down opponents all season, and it's been led by this sophomore, who once again, like many of these underclassmen on the roster this season, they didn't play any high school softball. There's no freshmen, there's no JV. This is just the beginning overall for them at the level in high school. Looking at some of the defensive alignment, at third base today is Mary McGrath. Mia Zapp at short. At second base is Carly Pachelski. At first is Kylie Flaherty. De La Fuente, I believe, is the catcher, and it looks like the outfield, left to right. In left field, it's Annika Frick, Noelle Leaf in center, and Leslie Flaherty in right field. It'll start with Kylie Milage here. Like we said, had a triple, 2 RBIs. She's got a lot of speed as well. She's one of their 2 returning players from 2019. Hit .254 that season. This season, she's hitting .431, a homer, 5 RBI. But her speed, that's why she's the leadoff hitter. She has 4 triples this year and also 7 steals, both easily leading this team. Abby Kozo's first pitch is a swing and a miss, and we're underway here for some Friday afternoon softball. If you hear some background noise, of course, there is a track meet going on right by where we are. Softball game is actually going on behind us, the track meet right in front of us. As she'll go with the first pitch, bloop it into center. That's going to drop in for a base hit, and it's a leadoff single for Kylie Milage as it falls in front of Leaf. Off the end of the bat, corked it up there. You know the sun's got to be a factor. It is a beautiful day, 73 degrees at first pitch. But Milage gets a rare hit here against Abby Kozo. JFK plays with a pretty small roster, only about 12 in the regular rotation. As that first pitch is upstairs for a ball. I believe this is Olivia Sims batting here. I don't have the full numerical roster for JFK, as this one is driven out to center field. That will drop in for a base hit, so back-to-back singles here from Milage and Sims, and Abby Kozo in a little bit of trouble here early. Knew this was going to be a highly contested game with how tough Metuchen played South Plainfield, is also from that white division, but it's going to be a wild one. Here's Valentina Mercado, who helped combine for the no-hit performance in the last game. De La Fuente the sign, Kozo the pitch, a swing and fouled right back at De La Fuente. So once again, defensively for the Lady Bulldogs, De La Fuente, the catcher. Infield, around the horn, McGrath at third, Zapp at short, Pachalski at second, Flaherty at first, as that one's grounded foul. Frick is in left field, Noelle Leaf in center, and Leslie Flaherty is in right. There's the pitch from Kozo. This one grounded right back to Kozo. She'll flip to third, get the force there. Throw back to first is going to be late, but they get the lead runner. Smart fielding there on the fielder's choice, and they'll get the first out of the inning. So Mercado reaches, and now Marissa Lugo will bat. Lugo hitting .268 with 12 RBI, and the first pitch is upstairs for a ball. So nearly no clouds in the sky. There's one little cloud bundle right in front of me, but 73 degrees, bright sunshine, literally a perfect day for a great game of softball. And like we said, if Metuchen's matchup with South Plainfield last week was any sign of what's to come, this could be a great game. There's the offering from Kozo. That one is going to miss. It's 2 balls and a strike. 2 bloop singles in a center for Milage and Sims. They got the force at third on the grounder by Mercado. So first and second, 1 out, scoreless game, top of the first. That one fouled back, and the count is now 2-2 here to Marissa Lugo with Angelica Rosario on deck. And that one's high, so Kozo, not the control she typically has at 3-2, has pitched a lot. This is already Metuchen's 4th game in the last 5 days. It has been a very busy stretch here for the Lady Bulldogs. This one grounded, up the line to right field. That's a base hit. 1 run's going to be waved home. The throw is way high, and another runner will, looks like they'll make them stay. A lot of confusion right here. now there's a conversation. And the JFK third base coach wants an explanation. Doesn't seem very happy there with the decision. So not exactly sure what the call is there. I thought that was a run-scoring RBI single. Zapp and Pachalski have a little bit of a conversation. This is Angelica Rosario, who made her first pitching appearance of the season yesterday and ended up throwing 2 hitless innings and helping to combine for the no-no. That one is going to be in there for a strike. There's the pitch. Caught on and missed. Strike 3, I think. Actually, 2 strikes. Now De La Fuente has a word. There's the pitch. And that one is high for a ball. Gianna Rios is on deck for the Mustangs. And that one's going to miss low, ball 4, so the bases are now loaded. So a rough first inning here for Kozo. That one chopped foul. That one's fouled off as well. A little confused on what the whole situation is from the beginning. This inning started with 2 singles and then a fielder's choice where they got the runner out at third. As this one is flown out to center field, catch is going to be made by Leaf, and that'll end the inning. So inning over here for JFK. And the coach is still getting an explanation there with Coach Maureen Gallagher and others. So a very unconventional inning right there. She originally went down to first, but then number 5, Angelica Rosario, was batting again there. So apologies if I'm a little confused, but I've never really seen a first inning that went like that. But regardless, Metuchen is going to be batting here. And I believe it'll be the 6th hole due up in the next inning. So I'm not sure if JFK actually scored a run there. I'll try to get confirmation as soon as I can. So anyway, Olivia Sims will be on the mound here for the bottom of the first inning. She has had a huge season, 66 innings pitched, 123 strikeouts, and a 1.91 ERA. As we get ready for some softball action in the bottom of the first as the Bulldogs will bat. Metuchen's offense still doing great and, of course, had a huge game yesterday, but it hasn't been as dominating on the offensive side as it has been in the past, as Sims fires in a fastball. One of the toughest pitchers that Metuchen has had to face so far this season. It'll be Mia Zapp leading off, who's having a huge sophomore season, batting .556, 4 home runs, 17 RBI. And that one's a wild one over the catcher for a ball, 1-1.
Once again, freshman, boys, 4-2, 2 and 4 runners should be down in the exchange. 1 and 4 should be in.
That one is a cut on and miss by Zapp, and it's 1-2. And that's a swing and a miss, strike 3. So Olivia Sims strikes out Mia Zapp on 4 pitches to start this one. So now to the 2 hole, it's Noelle Leaf batting .371, 7 RBI this season. Hit .365 back in 2019. She and Frick, the only 2 returning players. That's the second wild pitch straight up over the catcher there from Sims. But she is a workhorse. 66 innings pitched. The rest of the team combined has pitched 10 innings. So she's been on the mound for almost 85% of the potential innings so far this season. So Leaf swings and misses there. Here's the pitch to Noelle Leaf. Allen popped foul back by the screen. Sims looking for her second strikeout in a row to start the game, and that one's going to miss upstairs for a ball. This one a ground ball back to first, stepping on the bag, and that is out number 2. So 2 away, and that'll bring up Abby Kozo, who has had a massive season hitting the ball. 769 is still her average as she drills that first pitch. And taking a look, I mean, looking at these averages, 5 batters batting over .550 in this potent Metuchen lineup. Leslie Flaherty, a freshman, having a huge year as well at .618 with 3 home runs. And then De La Fuente with those 6 home runs as well. And that one's going to miss upstairs. Now back to the top of the first inning situation. What I think might have happened, I think Valentina Mercado did not touch a base, and she was called out. And then they sent Sims back, and then the third out came on that ground ball by Rios. So I think, no, pardon me, by Rosario. So I think that's where we're at this point. That nobody scored in that first inning. Try to get confirmation when I can as Sims gets that one over the plate for a strike. De La Fuente ready on deck. Here's the pitch from Sims, and that one buzzes Kozo inside a little and gets away from the catcher. a swing and a miss right there.
Now on to the freshman boy.
That'll end the inning. 2 strikeouts for Sims in the first, including Abby Kozo going down on strikes. Only the 10th time she's been retired all season. Regardless of easy 1-2-3 inning for Sims, we'll head to the top of the second. I believe scoreless here between JFK and Metuchen. So welcome back, top of the second inning. Now, according to the athletic director, John Cathcart, a run did score, so I believe it's 1-0. I'm just confused about what the whole scenario was there, because the runner number 24, second in the order, I believe that's Marissa Lugo, came home and scored. Then number 25, who's third in the order, was out as easy ground ball to Kozo, and she'll throw to first for the first out. Just very confusing, that whole scenario. But it looks like we've settled it now, and it looks like JFK is on top at the moment. And this is Dakota Kisnowski. First pitch misses. Kisnowski, a junior, batting .250 with 4 RBI so far this season. Nice pitch from Kozo on the outer part of the zone for a strike. That one upstairs and away for a ball. And that one misses low. Kozo does not have the same control as she'd typically have. I think she was careful with the top of the order, but now I think it's just she does not have the same bite to her pitches, and they're tailing off a little bit out of the zone. That one's a nice fastball right down the middle, blows it past Kisnowski, and the count is full with Jalen Rodriguez due up next. 3 balls, 2 strikes. This one a ground ball to short, fielded cleanly by Zapp, throws to first, got her, and 2 away. So back-to-back groundouts there for Rios and Kisnowski. And that'll bring up Jalen Rodriguez. Rodriguez, a senior, did not play, though, in her sophomore season on the varsity team. Hitting .333 with 3 RBI so far in the 2021 campaign. It's Kozo looking for a shutdown first after allowing 3 hits in the open inning and what seems to be a run, despite the confusion that came in afterwards. This one popped up first base side and foul. This one dribbled hard down the third base line. Flaherty gives it chase. McGrath gives it chase, but that's going to be out of play. Metuchen will have 4, 5, 6 in the order up in the bottom of the first after an easy scoreless frame for Olivia Sims with 2 strikeouts. This one popped up, caught by Zapp in the infield, and Kozo with an easy 1-2-3 inning. So good recovery for Abby Kozo after the struggles in the first. Metuchen trails at 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the second. Eddie Kalegi here live. This is the Bulldog Report. So bottom of the second, thank you to the athletic director, Mr. John Cathcart, for clarifying what happened in the top of the first inning officially. So, as there's a wild throw in for the catcher that nearly got the pitcher Olivia Sims. So JFK did score a run on that RBI single. They had first and second, 1 out. That one went through for a base hit. The first run scored, and then an out was made, and to run for the pitcher, Olivia Sims, they brought back in that runner who had scored, Marissa Lugo, to go to second base. So that's the clarification on that, and then just obviously 2 outs after that, there was that third out made, and that ended the inning. So it is 1-0 JFK, and thank you once again to Mr. Cathcart for clarifying that. This is Brianna De La Fuente here in the bottom of the second, takes the first pitch. De La Fuente got off to as scorching of a start as Kozo, but it has sort of calmed down as this one grounded softly to first. Trouble with it, fumbling, trying to make the tag. And it looks like De La Fuente got on. Not a very clear signal there from the first base umpire, but it looks like an infield single, as Gianna Rios, the first baseman, had trouble picking it up, sort of just flagged it down and flung her glove at De La Fuente. Couldn't get the tag down. I don't even know if she hung onto the ball there. And now De La Fuente's on with an leadoff infield single, and this will bring up Leslie Flaherty. Mustangs 1, Bulldogs nothing. Bottom of the second as Flaherty chases that one upstairs for a strike. Of course, De La Fuente in softball, you can't take any leads, but you can go right on the pitch. As she takes a little jump there as Flaherty swings and misses, and now it's 2 strikes here on the freshman, who is having a standout season, hitting .618 with 3 homers and 20 RBI. Been a tougher portion of the Bulldogs' schedule after they cruised through the beginning. Kind of nice to get that one South River game as that pitch gets away low in the dirt, and De La Fuente takes the turn and gets the second. So Brianna De La Fuente advances into scoring position there on the pass ball, and it remains a 2-strike count here to Leslie Flaherty. But that South River game was good to give them a little bit of a break, add some confidence, a nice 18-0 victory because they had to play Bridgewater Raritan, which was a showdown, lost to South Plainfield, and now playing a tough opponent in JFK. This one, a screamer on the ground. Keeking an eye, De La Fuente is going to go to third without a throw.
We're good.
Great base running by Brianna De La Fuente. As Flaherty grounds out, Sims looked over at second. Then the moment she threw the ball over to Rios at first, De La Fuente broke for third, and there was not nearly enough time to get the ball over there. So heads-up base running now puts a Bulldog runner 90 feet from scoring here with just one out. And the first pitch to Kylie Flaherty is in there for a strike. Kylie hitting .462, 2 homers, 12 RBI this season. So De La Fuente, great base running. The infield single beat it out on the mistake as that one's cut on and fouled off. Got to second on the passed ball, and then advances to third on the fielder's choice right there to get the runner at first base. Here's the pitch. This one fouled off. 2 strikes now on Kylie Flaherty. Metuchen losing 1-0, bottom of the second, 1 away, runner at third. Here's the pitch from Sims, another 2-strike pitch, just barely making contact. Sims, like I said, with the speed of her pitches, I mean, there is a lot of velocity on these pitches. She blows it past these hitters. Already struck out both Zapp and Kozo, 2 of Metuchen's better contact hitters. And Flaherty, another one, batting just below 500, having trouble here. And that one swung on and missed, strike 3. So Sims looking to pitch out of the jam, strikes out Kylie Flaherty. And that'll bring up Frick here with 2 outs. Annika Frick having a great year as senior, batting .567 as she swings and fouls the first one back. Also on the mound, 13 1/3 innings pitched as their number 2 starter behind Kozo, and she's only allowed 1 earned run. She's allowed 14 runs, but only 1 was earned. There's been errors involved in there. As that one's upstairs for a ball, 1-1. So pitching to a .53 ERA has 5 strikeouts in 13 innings. And is a key leader on this team. Both she and Noelle Leaf, being the 2 veterans, have helped guide this very young team through these tough games. This one's flown out to right field, and it's going to fall in for a base hit. De La Fuente scores. A misplay there. I believe that was Dakota out there. That was Dakota Kaznowski, who tried to come in, kind of tried to scoop that one up from low, and it popped out of her glove. And Metuchen catches a break and ties the game at 1. So 2 poor fielding instances in this inning. First for Rios on the infield single, and now Frick gets on a poorly played ball in right field. And the Bulldogs even the score in the bottom of the second. Very sloppy right there for JFK, a team that has been great on defense. Especially yesterday, to get the 7-inning no-hitter. They only had 8 strikeouts. A lot of it was ground balls and flyouts. So Sims allows a run. She does not allow many. As McGrath takes that one in there, strike 3 called. 4th strikeout for Sims. She Ks 2 in the inning, but Metuchen evens the score. An infield single by Brianna De La Fuente. She gets home on a misplayed ball in right field hit by Annika Frick. We'll head to the 3rd inning. Tie game 1-1 between the Mustangs and the Bulldogs. Eddie Kalegi here live on the Bulldog Report. We'll be back for inning number 3. Top of the 3rd coming up. A new episode of the MHS podcast will be coming out this coming week, but if you haven't seen the last one, check it out by searching MHS Podcast on YouTube or following our Twitter at PodcastMHS. We talked to Ms. Gazda about the PAWS Unified Physical Education Program. Josh Hyman and I also talked about all the latest in spring sports, including the red-hot starts for baseball and softball, and a very busy track season. Spring track back rolling. Actually, right in front of us right now, we have a track meet going on. Looks like they're doing the 800 right now, but you got that to talk about. And also, we're joined by Director of Bands, Mr. John Messenger, to talk about all the latest with the upcoming spring concert, which is just 6 days away. Music returning here post-pandemic to Metuchen High School, and we couldn't be more excited for that. 9-1-2 in the order, and a swing and a miss there from Maya Torres. Torres is batting just 133 this season, but had a huge game. Only has 6 RBI. 3 came yesterday against New Brunswick, and she gets the start here as the 9-hole. But Kozo blows 2 pitches by her in a row and is quickly ahead 0-2. So Torres, Milage, and Lugo, 9-1-2 due up here for JFK. And reaching out, swinging and missing, strike 3. That's actually Kozo's first strikeout of the game. Took till the 3rd inning. She has 60 this season, but a very slow start to today's game for her. But she started to settle in. Now has retired 5 in a row after 3 singles against her in the opening inning. And this will bring up Milage, who singled a blooper in front of Noelle Leaf that fell quickly. She steps into one, fouls it off, chasing out of play, and they won't be able to get there, so that's 0-1. Milage, like we said, the numbers have skyrocketed from 2 years ago. Hit 254 in 2019, nearly doubled that average up to 431 here in 2021. As that one comes in at her, and the count is even at 1-1. Really impressive to see these people have grown, especially since, unlike baseball that had the Last Dance World Series last year, there was no softball tournament or competition whatsoever. Other than people who did travel, this is the first competition they've had in nearly 2 full years. So being able to make such strides really shows the hard work that some of these athletes have put in during the pandemic, not just sitting there, sitting around and watching The Office the whole time, and continuing to try to get better, work harder, even though they weren't getting that time on the field. As dropping the bunt is Milage. It goes right near the catcher's glove, but looks like they're going to say that was strike 3, as it was tipped back into the glove. That pitch was out of the zone regardless. She just got a nub on it. So that's going to be the second strikeout there for Kozo. So back-to-back Ks. This will bring up Lugo, who singled and ended up scoring the run back in the first inning, and then pinch ran for Sims. And that one's in there for a strike. Here's the 0-1 from Kozo. This one driven foul, and Kozo is 1 strike away from striking out the side and having his 2nd consecutive strong inning after struggling mightily in the first. No balls, 2 strikes here to Marissa Lugo. Batting .268 this season. Ground ball to second. Pachalski fields it cleanly, throws to first, got her, side retired. Easy 1-2-3 third for Abby Kozo. Metuchen looking to take the lead in the bottom half. Tie game 1-1. We head to the bottom of the 3rd. Eddie Kalegi here on the Bulldog Report. So Olivia Sims ready to work in the bottom of the third inning. Like we said, she did not pitch yesterday, but is getting the chance this time around and has done a really good job so far. It'll start with Carly Pachalski, 9-1-2 in the Metuchen order. Pachalski, Zap, and Leaf. Carly Pachalski, a junior, batting .483 with 12 RBI. Also plays basketball. Was one of the key forwards on the girls varsity team this winter. Swing and a miss there. A lot of players from the girls softball team also play basketball in the winter. Zap, Pachalski, Leslie Flaherty, just to name a few. Sims looking to settle in, and that one is going to be in there. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Pachalski. Junior was on the JV team as during her freshman season in 2019. 1-2 pitch from Sims. That one's going to miss up and away, and the count is even at 2-2. Here in the bottom of the third. This one fouled off. JFK scored 1 in the first with 3 hits within the first 4 batters against Abby Kozo. She's retired 7 straight since then. Metuchen, on the other hand, 1-2-3, they went down in the first, but then some defensive blunders in the second inning as Pachalski takes that one low, and I believe the count has now gone full. But a couple of hits by De La Fuente and Frick, not the best struck balls, and both of them easily outs if they were played correctly by the defense, but Metuchen nonetheless even the scores. Pachalski stays alive and fouls one hard back at the bubble back there, and it's 3-2 still. And that one is a swing and a miss, strike 3. 5 strikeouts, first time through the order for Olivia Sims, continuing her strong season. Like we said with the strikeout numbers, I mean, she has been dominant. 123 strikeouts, now make that 128 with these 5 Ks. Mia Zapp has already struck out today. Came in 4th on the team in batting average at .556 as she takes that one in there for a strike. Bulldogs hoping to get something rolling and take the lead here in the bottom of the third. 0-1, fouled back, no balls, 2 strikes now to Mia Zapp. Senior Noel Leaf stands on deck. Sims gets ready. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Ground ball right back to Sims. What a snag, what a throw, what an out. Stung by Zapp, but Sims just had the glove placed perfectly there, up above her head. I don't even know if she was really trying to catch it. She didn't move it. Really just luck of the draw. It didn't deflect off her glove. If it had, then that would have been a tough play to get the speedy Zapp at first, but third 1-3 putout we've already seen from Sims on the defensive end. One of the tallest players in the field, so I mean, she's kind of able to block some of these when they come right back at her. But so far for the Metuchen offense, 5 strikeouts, 3 ground balls to the pitcher, and 2 singles. As Leaf takes that one in there for a strike. She grounded one softly back in the first inning. Here's the pitch. That one off the catcher's padding and low for a ball in the dirt. Abby Kozo on deck. Tie game, bottom of the third here between the Bulldogs and the JFK Mustangs. Metuchen at 11-1, Mustangs at 9-4. That one misses as well, so 2 in a row out of the zone, and now this one's going to get away, getting back to the pitcher's mound.
JFK will have the heart of the order, 3, 4, 5. Mercado, Sims, and Rosario due up in the top of the fourth. Here's the pitch to Leaf. Driven out the right field side, back near that fencing and out of play over by the soccer field. Sims and Kozo, two stellar pitchers, both on their game today. Just a couple of soft singles against them as Leaf chases one upstairs, strike 3. Third straight inning with a pair of Ks for Sims. That gives her 6 on the day through 3 innings. We stay tied 1-1 as we head to the top of the fourth. Eddie Kalegi here on the Bulldog Report. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back. Top of the fourth inning coming up. Heart of the order due up here for JFK Memorial in a 1-1 game. Now, Metuchen has a rally fish now that debuted against South River. You can see on their Twitter. Be sure to follow their new Twitter, Metuchen High School Softball. You can see the handle there. Got the win, tried to save the fish. So, it's a new thing. You know, some of these teams have these weird traditions. You always hear about a rally animal or something. The rally bird, the rally parrot that the Mets had a few years ago. Now the rally fish is something to keep an eye on here in the Brainy Borough. So let's see if that can help them start a rally offensively and give Kozo some help. As the first pitch here is driven out to left center field, chasing, and that one's going to be past Frick, and now we'll see Mercado run. She's around second. The ball's still coming in. It's a wild throw in. She's going to stop at third as the throw then comes in and bounces over to Flaherty, and it's a leadoff deep booming triple by Mercado, who was definitely frustrated after grounding into the fielder's choice. That kind of killed the rally a little bit in the first inning. But all of a sudden, Metuchen's suddenly in danger of giving up the lead with Olivia Sims coming up. First pitch to Sims is going to be upstairs for a ball. And for Sims, she hits really well too. At 349, a homer, 11 RBI, hit 420 with 15 RBI in 2019. And she sends one, a screamer to first, caught by Flaherty, firing back to third. They got her, double play! What a play, what a throw by Flaherty back to McGrath. I don't know what Mercado was doing there, completely napping at third. I don't know why she got so far off the base. There was no way she was going to score there with how hard it was hit to Flaherty. And Flaherty nonchalantly steps on the bag, throws to third. And all of a sudden it goes from runner in third and 1 out to 2 away. Bouncer to Zap. She'll throw to first. That's late and that'll be a single. But man, that was quite the turn of the tide. So that's going to go on down to the books as your common 3-5 double play for Sims. But Rosario is on with 2 outs, and this will bring up Gianna Rios. Man, oh man, that was something. This one fouled off. So now 5 hits here allowed by Kozo. Only once has she allowed this much offense through the first few innings. That happened against South Plainfield. As a grounder softly back to Kozo. Didn't really sting it very well. And Flaherty steps on first. So Kozo gets a big-time assist from her first baseman, Kylie Flaherty, to keep the Mustangs off the board. JFK and Metuchen even at 1 as we head to the bottom of the fourth here on the Bulldog Report. Well, thank you to everybody for tuning in today. We are here for the bottom of the fourth inning. Metuchen will have the heart of the order due up, Kozo De La Fuente and Leslie Flaherty. But that was massive there to save that inning. That had the chance of being a huge inning with Mercado drilling that triple over the head of both Frick and Leaf out into the left center field gap. But on the ground ball, Kylie Flaherty made a heads-up throw to first. Throw to third to double off Mercado. And Olivia Sims, the pitcher, has to be frustrated that she hit into that double play and now has to try to preserve the tie against the heart of the order. Abby Kozo struck out last time, but is still hitting .750 this season. I mean, you see those numbers the first couple of days of the season. We're now 13 games in. This is insane numbers here for the sophomore. Metuchen still with 6 different players batting over 500 as Kozo grounds one to second, fielded cleanly, and it's a rare 0 for 2 start today for Kozo, as that's the first out here of the last of the fourth. So that'll bring up Brianna De La Fuente, who got the motion started by banging a single right along the first base line, tucked it in closely, and Rios fumbled the ball, couldn't tag her on her way up the line. Got to first, then got to second on a passed ball, advanced to third on a heads-up play on a ground out, and then ended up scoring on an RBI single from Frick. And she drives one out to short. This will be a tough play. Coming over, throwing. What a stretch by Rios. What an out. In the hole, an excellent throw by Angelica Rosario. And 3 and 4 quickly retired on just 3 pitches with 2 groundouts. And in a game like this where you need base runners and you saw how easily De La Fuente was able to get around even after such a soft contact single, you wonder about taking pitches. We've seen Sims be a little erratic at times, and I mean, I don't understand why Metuchen is continually chasing first pitch here today. It's not really going to help because she's not giving you good pitches to hit then. If she falls behind 2-1, 3-1, then Sims has to throw one down the middle, and that's where something happens. That one a little upstairs, cut on and missed by Flaherty, who grounded back to Sims in the second, 0 for 1 today. Here's the pitch from Sims. This one driven out to right field. That's going to be fouled just up the line. So it'll be 1 ball and 2 strikes here from Olivia Sims to Leslie Flaherty, with sister Kylie due up next. Bottom 4, 1-1. JFK scored 1 in the first with 3 hits off Abby Kozo. Metuchen responded, an RBI single from Monica Frick with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. And we've been even at 1 ever since. 2 strikes here. 2 outs to Leslie Flaherty. Last of the fourth. Here's the pitch from Sims. That one is going to be a strike 3. I think that was dropped, but I thought she made contact with it. But they're going to say that was a strike 3. That was dropped. So Leslie Flaherty is going to get on base. The way that ball looked, it looked like the catcher completely missed that because there was no redirection. It just went right back, right past the catcher's net. That one's securely in there for a strike, but Leslie Flaherty catches a break, and that is the 3rd defensive mistake that we've seen from JFK. And all 3 of Metuchen's base runners have come due to defensive mistakes. 1 in the infield, 1 in the outfield, 1 by a catcher. This grounder to short. Rosario goes the long way and throws it away. There's another error. Moving over to third is Flaherty. Takes a big turn. She'll head back to third as the throw comes into Sims. So after the great play by Rosario to get the second out, she overthrows Rio, so now runners on the corners. And Metuchen threatening with Frick, who's already driven in a run. It was her 21st RBI of the season on a ball misplayed in right field. 4th defensive miscue in less than 4 innings for JFK. If they fall in this game, that will be one of the big reasons why. Their defense has not held up for Olivia Sims. That first pitch in there for a strike. And both these teams are a little fatigued, of course, playing yesterday, but they both ended in mercy rule, so they didn't have to play too long. As this one's a bouncer foul down the first base side. Frick, an RBI single earlier. Threatening with 2 runners on. Metuchen trying to take the lead after trailing 1-0 back in the first inning. Even it up in the bottom of the second. A chance for more here in the bottom of the fourth. And Sims is going to step off, and a conversation coming here at the mound.
Okay, first section for the girls. Top section for the combined.
You can see all the Metuchen players lined up there along the fence. They are all excited, cheering on their senior leader in Frick, and hoping she can deliver here and give Kozo a lead to work with. Abby Kozo has pitched very well since the first inning, as that one's going to miss upstairs. If the inning should continue, it's the 8th spot with Mary McGrath, the freshman third baseman, due up next. Sims gets ready. Here's the pitch to Frick. This one a bouncing ball back to Sims, off the mound, flips to first side, retired, and the Bulldogs strand a pair. So both teams threaten in the top and the bottom of the fourth, but ultimately no runs score. We'll head to the 5th inning now. 1-1 tie game between JFK and Metuchen. It's been a great one so far. Stay with us for the 5th. Eddie Kalegi here live on the Bulldog Report. So Abby Kozo ready to work in the 5th inning. She's had 2 easy innings and 2 tough innings. First inning, of course, was a mess. 3 hits among the first 4 batters, a run scored. Then in the second, third, 1, 2, 3 innings, 2 strikeouts. Then a leadoff booming triple by Valentina Mercado. She ended up being doubled off at third base on a big play by Kylie Flaherty. They got another single from Rosario and was stranded by Rios. So 4 innings to this point. 5 hits, 1 run, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Not as solid as Kozo's been in past appearances, but other than the South Plainfield game, this is arguably the second toughest lineup she's had to go against. Fortunately for her, it will be the bottom third of the order that she had no trouble with first time around. Kisnowski, Rodriguez, and Torres. And it starts with Dakota Kisnowski here, number 14-7 in the order. First pitch at the top of the 5th is going to be in there, actually off the plate for a ball. And this one is going to be driven out to right field. Catch is going to be made on the run by Leslie Flaherty, and that's out number 1. So solid contact there from Kisnowski, but nothing going of it. And that'll bring up Jalen Rodriguez. And looking at Kozo's numbers, already alluded to it, but coming into this game, 60 strikeouts through 39 2/3 innings. She has the highest ERA on the team, by the way, earned run average at 1.59. But still having an excellent season to this point. So Jalen Rodriguez batting, .333, 3 RBI, one of the seniors on this team. One of only 3. It's Sims and Melage as the others.
Monroe in 2, Green Focus Valley 3, Union Catholic 4, Green Focus Valley in 5, South Plainfield in 6. And we are ready.
Here's the pitch from Kozo to Rodriguez. Chops it foul up above her. When Metuchen bats in the bottom half of the 5th, they'll have McGrath, Pachalski, and Zapp due up. Here's the pitch from Kozo. Swung on and missed. Strike 3, just the 3rd strikeout of the game for Kozo, but she's settled in once again. She's now retired 3 in a row. And that's the 2nd out of the top of the 5th, with the game still tied at 1. Here's the first pitch, and a swing and a miss way up in the zone by the 9-hole hitter, Maya Torres. 0-1 from Kozo working quickly. That one fouled off. And she's one strike away from back-to-back strikeouts for the second time today. 2 outs, nobody on, top of the 5th. 1-1 game between JFK from the white division, Metuchen from the blue. 2 very strong programs. Strike 3 called outside corner. Back-to-back strikeouts from Kozo of the 8 and 9 hole, and a very easy 1-2-3 inning. Let's see if they can provide some motivation out of the bats. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Tie game, 1-1 between the Dogs and the Mustangs here on the Bulldog Report. Bottom of the 5th coming up here.
Okay.
Metuchen got 2 runners on in the bottom of the 4th. They had first and third, but could not scratch across the run. And it'll be McGrath, Pachalski, and Zapdu up, who are combined 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts against Sims to this point in the game. So Sims now up to 70 innings pitched this season. She has pitched all but 10 innings of JFK's schedule so far. And she struck out 6 today, up to 129 in the season. One of the top pitchers. She and Kozo having quite the pitcher's duel so far. Not a surprise, as that one swung and missed by McGrath. Mary McGrath, Leslie Flaherty, 2 freshmen who, no experience whatsoever. Not even on JV, not even on a freshman team, coming right up and performing. But she's behind 0-2 here. McGrath batting .345 this season. Starts most of the games over at third base. So is 9 RBI. Metuchen's lineup doesn't vary that much. They'll occasionally start Trolero, who's gotten 11 plate appearances this season. But other than the 9 in the lineup and Trolero, nobody else in the team has more than 3 official at-bats so far this season. 5 other players have between 1 and 3, but they are not regular starters, as McGrath stays alive, fights off 2 off-speed pitches in a row, and keeps it at 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, nobody out, bottom of the 5th. 1-1 game. That one bounces to the plate for a ball. Barely even got there, completely slipped out of Sims' hand. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. No foul tip, so she's out regardless. 7th strikeout of the game for Sims. Second time McGrath has gone down on strikes. Once looking, once swinging, and that's the first out of the bottom of the 5th. So up here is Pachalski. Struck out earlier. 43 batting average so far this season. Which, with how strong this Metuchen lineup has been, is towards the bottom. But, it is important to mention, Metuchen has had a very easy schedule to start the season. It's only picked up over the past week and a half with games against Bridgewater, Raritan, South Plainfield, and JFK, all outside the blue division. And it makes you wonder, if they continue on the path that they currently are, if this program continues to expand, will they eventually get the bump up from the blue division to potentially the white division? They can clearly compete with teams like JFK and South Plainfield. And the GMC has proven willing in the past to make changes not just based on how many kids are in the school, but based upon the development of the program. For example, St. Thomas Aquinas, who had long been in the blue division for basketball. Of course, they were able to recruit players as a private school, but that basketball team has significantly expanded over the past couple of years. As Pachalski goes down looking, bench is not happy with that call. Back-to-back strikeouts now for Sims, and that's 8 for the game. But they broke precedent, and St. Thomas got moved up and got to play against some of the more renowned teams in the GMC, so you wonder if that could similarly follow. And you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself, but this is a team primarily of freshmen and sophomores. And 1-2 years down the line, these are all going to be upperclassmen with 2 years of experience playing varsity softball, and will grow into their bodies even better, and it could be a really, really forceful team. There's the pitch to Zapp. That one low. Zapp is 0 for 2, struck out in the first, grounded back to Sims in the third. Metuchen's only hit the ball out of the infield once. It was that RBI single by Frick. Every other ball has stayed in the infield so far. But Zapp with a good eye, and that's what I told you. They need to take some pitches. They can't be like rushing it and trying to swing first pitch. We saw that with both Kozo and De La Fuente last time through the order. You got to work Sims a little bit, get her pitch count up, get her to tire out. This is the first really hot day with the sun beating down. And this is a good opportunity to try to take advantage. Sims ready. Here's the pitch to Zapp. Foul back. 2 strikes now on Mia Zapp. Noel Leaf is on deck. Here comes the pitch to Zapp. Bouncing ball hard down to second. Fielded cleanly. Throw to first. Nice play by Lugo. Side retired. Another listless inning from the Metuchen offense. We'll head to the 6th. Things are going to go down very soon. Late game, tie game, 1-1, heading to the 6th here between Metuchen and John F. Kennedy Memorial High School from Island, New Jersey. So we've talked a lot about this Metuchen offense and how they've taken advantage of some of this pitching. And that's part of it, but still, we are into the 13th game of the season. And some of these batting averages. Abby Kozo at 768, De La Fuente 595, Flaherty 618, Zapp 556. All 4 of those players never played any high school softball at all before this. Now, a lot of them, including Kozo and De La Fuente, have participated in some pretty prestigious travel teams over the past few years throughout middle school, and even still got to play a little bit last year. Those were still going on despite no high school sanctioned sports by the NJSIAA last spring. But Annika Frick, the only returning player on that list, and of course, not mentioned on there, but there are other names to point out as well. Kozo here in the 6th. Milage pops that one up. Giving a chase. It's going to fall in for a single. Nearly taking second as Milage. Still think better of it, but perfectly placed. Now, I don't know why McGrath kind of stayed away from that. She should have gone behind the third base bag. Zapp kind of had to chase after that. Couldn't get there, and it just barely fell in by inches. So for the second time today, Milage has a very lucky bloop single. She's on for the second time. And with the top of the order here due up, Kozo's got to be careful. 1-1 game, top of the 6th. Milage running on the pitch, but it's fouled off. Like we said, she has 7 stolen bases, 4 triples. She has tons of speed. That is why she is, one of the first in the lineup. She's batting leadoff almost every single game. Because of her speed, her ability to get on base, get around quickly, and thus put up an early run. Trying to drop to bunt. It's dropped, by the catcher De La Fuente, and that's going to allow Melage to advance to second despite no bunt happening. So even without actually bunting the ball, in a sense, Lugo gets the job done. So runner on second here for Lugo on the top of the sixth. Here's the pitch from Kozo. This one is going to be popped up and out of play. If you hear a track meet going on right around us, they're doing the freshman mile run right now. Here's the pitch from Kozo. Stepping out in front of it, grounding one to second. Throw by Pachalski a little offline. Looks like they'll get the out. They'll check on third. This time Melage a little more on par than Mercado. She'll get back in safely. They're not going to say it out at third, and now advancing to second on the throw is Lugo. It was a close play at first. They signaled safe. They threw it back to third, and inadvertently, Lugo advances to second, and all of a sudden, two are in scoring position for Mercado, who hit a booming triple last time up. And have an easy chance here for JFK to take the lead in the top of the sixth. With the first pitch in there for a strike here to Mercado, who reached on a fielder's choice in the first, and then tripled and was thrown out on the base paths between third and home with the subsequent batter. And that was a tough play, of course, with her ending up too far off third and getting doubled off. But she can come through in a big way here. Grounds the ball through the whole base hit. Melage is going to score. Stopping at third is Lugo. And it's an RBI go-ahead single for Valentina Mercado off of Abby Kozo, and JFK takes a 2-1 lead. Islyn Kennedy, 21-3 last season, beat Metuchen in a close one 5-4 back in 2019. And again, stringed together a bunch of hits with the top of the order, the 3 consecutive hits. And the threat continues with Olivia Sims. She'll drop to bunt, pulls it back. Now trying to steal second and getting over there is Mercado. Nobody was covering. Throw was way off anyway. And there is serious opportunity for a big inning here from JFK. Metuchen has not lost at home yet this season, but have already lost against a White Division opponent in South Plainfield, who's 2 games ahead of JFK, who currently sit 4th in the White Division in softball. There's the pitch from Kozo. That one's upstairs. So a single by Melage. Lugo reached on a close play. They threw to third, then she advanced to second, so they got 2 in scoring position, and Mercado grounded a single through the hole between Zapp and McGrath. This one fouled off. But Kozo has gone through these spurts today where she's dominant for about 4 or 5 batters, but then wavers and allows a couple of hits. And other than the South Plainfield game where she allowed 7 runs, she's been pretty dominant out there and has not allowed more than, I believe, 2 runs in any other game this season. But already 2 home here in this one for JFK, 1 in this inning, lead 2-1 here at the top of the 6th, and a chance for more. This one a pop-up. Kozo's going to grab it. And the runners can't go anywhere, so that's a big-time first out. So Sims is retired. This will bring up Angelica Rosario, who flew out to center in the first, singled in the fourth, 1 for 2 today. 8 hits so far here from the JFK offense. 3 1-2-3 innings from Kozo, 3 bad innings. She allowed 3 hits in the first and a run. 1-2-3 second and third. 2 hits in the fourth, escaped unscathed. Easy 5th, bad 6th to this point. 2-1. Islyn Kennedy on top here. Top of the 6th here, live from the Brainy Borough. Eddie Kalegi here on the Bulldog Report. We have 1 out here in the inning. And Rosario batting. And she'll foul that one back. Gianna Rios, who had 3 RBI yesterday against New Brunswick, due up next for the Mustangs. And she'll foul that one back, and the battle continues. And that one inside. So Kozo had some trouble with her control in the first inning. Has had pretty good control since, but has allowed 8 hits. And that one's going to miss as well. Lugo at third, Mercado at second, already 1 scoring in the inning. 2-1 game. And this one is going to be a pop-up. Kozo comes off the mound, makes the catch. Back-to-back pop-ups from 4 and 5 in the order, and 2 huge outs, and Kozo is 1 out away from getting out of this with just 1 run allowed, which would be massive for them to get out of this with little damage. They'll bring up Gianna Rios. She's grounded out twice to second in the second, to the pitcher in the fourth. And they'll bring in a pinch runner here at second base. I believe that's Mulaney Sina. And that pitch is going to miss. Second and third. Kozo the pitch. Swing and a miss. Kozo trying to get out of this. 3 straight hits to start the inning. 1 run scored. JFK did take the lead. It's now 2-1 here in the top of the 6th. But back-to-back pop-ups with 2 in scoring position. And that one is off the plate by inches. That one's upstairs as well. 3 balls. Kaznowski's on deck. Here's the windup of the pitch from Kozo. Fouled back, count is full. 2 outs, 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 in scoring position for the Mustangs in the 6th. Already a run home, leading it 2-1. Metuchen is the heart of the order, due up in the bottom of the 6th. Another foul ball. Rio's fighting hard. Here's the pitch from Kozo. Popped up again. Coming in. Can they make the play? They converge. Kozo's got it. 3 straight pop-ups right back to Abby Kozo with 4, 5, 6 in the order up. And Metuchen avoids a potential massive inning for JFK as the Mustangs are held to just 1 run. They do get the lead, though, and are 6 outs away from victory, but we'll have to deal with Leaf, Kozo, and De La Fuente here in the bottom of the 6th. Middle of the 6th, 2-1, JFK on top of Metuchen. Stay with us. Great game still ahead. This is Eddie Kalegi here on the Bulldog Report. So Olivia Sims pitching a great game, but she has her work cut out. And now the test comes for Metuchen to, change their ways at the plate. 2, 3, and 4. Leaf, Kozo, and De La Fuente. 3 of their best hitters today. So far, combined 1 for 6 with an infield single. And 4 different times we've seen Kozo and De La Fuente swinging first pitch. Leaf drops a bunt on the first pitch. It's going to go back into the catcher's mitt and foul for the first strike. Leaf wanting to get on base, get something rolling here. Metuchen's 1 run, an RBI single by Annika Frick back in the second.
Sophomore boys.
That one misses low and away for a ball. Count is even at 1-1.
Bowler girls, 1600, freshman and sophomore. Should be first at this point. 346.
1-1 pitch. Grounded foul. Sharply off the end of the bat. And it's 1-2. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning. With a win, Metuchen ties their best start since 2013. That one's foul. So Leaf fighting. Sims throwing some pitches that tail off to the outside part of the plate. Leaf has just barely been able to nub it off at the end of the bat. And they've just been able to go, been lofted down the third base line very softly. Kozo on deck, due for a big hit. Here's the pitch to Leaf. It's going to be dropped by the catcher, Rodriguez. Missed inside regardless, and it's 2-2 now. Swing and a miss. Down goes Leaf. 9 strikeouts now. What a performance from Olivia Sims. That's now 132 strikeouts this season through 71 1/3 innings. And Abby Kozo gets ready to bat. 0 for 2 today with a strikeout and a groundout. She's only been retired 11 times all season. Came in batting .769. That has now tailed off to a .738 average. And she takes the first one low for a ball. Now, when we did the baseball game on Wednesday, Metuchen came through because Matt Rowe gave himself some run support. Can Kozo help spark a rally to do the same, trailing 2-1 as the pitcher? She takes that one in there for a strike, so count is even at 1-1. But definitely more disciplined here. Leaf worked a pretty lengthy count. And you want to be able to tire out Sims too. Like I said, it's the first really hot day. It's 73 degrees, feels like almost 80 out there. As Kozo hits a number, and there's going to be no play. Kozo is in with an infield single. That's how the rally started in the second. Some confusion about if they were going to have a pinch runner or whatever. And now they're saying that that was a foul ball. So, big break for Islin Kennedy, as they're going to call that a foul ball. It did take an awkward bounce right near the lefty batter's box, as that one buzzes Kozo inside for a ball. But certainly hurts that they couldn't, because that was perfectly placed. Literally right in the middle of the pitcher and the catcher. Both of them had to go some distance to get it, and Kozo, one of the speediest players on this team, was able to get to first very quickly. Fouls that one off on a looper down the third base line. Bottom of the 6th, Mustangs on tap 2-1. Looking to hand Metuchen just their second loss of the season and their first at home, while JFK looks for their 10th win of the season. This team, this is a talented roster, different from 2 years ago, but this is still a program that went to the GMC Championship in 2019, ultimately losing to St. Thomas Aquinas. So a lengthy at bat. We thought Kozo was on base about 3 pitches ago, but it continues, and she continues to fight on here against Sims. Pitcher versus pitcher. Here's the pitch from Sims. This one is roped into center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. So Kozo is on with a single. her second potential single, first one that actually counts of this inning. And Metuchen has a base runner with one out. Just the third hit so far for Metuchen, and it's the first one that wasn't assisted by a defensive miscue. The two previous hits in the second from De La Fuente and Frick were both due to defensive errors, one by the infield, one by the outfield. As De La Fuente drives one out to center, long run catch is going to be made out there by Karnowski, and they'll throw it in. Kozo can't go anywhere. So De La Fuente squared one up, but Karnowski perfectly placed there. This will bring up Leslie Flaherty with two outs. Two-one game, 2 outs, sixth inning. That one is low for a ball. 4 outs to get for the Mustangs. In the top of the seventh, they will have the bottom of the order due up, which is a combined 0 for 6 with 3 strikeouts today. So Kozo hoping for a good inning, as that one fouled back.
Ball Hurler, boys and girls, to the after start now.
Flaherty 0 for 2. She reached on a dropped third strike on a strikeout, got all the way to third, but was stranded in the fourth and grounded back to the pitcher in the second. This one popped up right there. Sims grabs it, inning over. So a single by Kozo. She'll be stranded in scoring position. We will head to the top of the seventh inning. Metuchen is still trailing 2-1. So top of the seventh inning, beautiful day. You can see some clouds out there. Field looks great, and we've seen a great game so far. Taking you through a little recap. Top of the first inning, JFK mounted 3 hits with the first 4 batters. Even left me a little confused with some of their base running decisions, but nonetheless, there was an RBI single from Olivia Sims to bring home Marissa Lugo to make it a 1-0 game. Metuchen bounced back in the bottom of the second. Brianna De La Fuente had an infield single. Annika Frick with 2 outs, hit one to right field. It was misplayed by Dakota Karnowski. It fell in for a base hit and drove in the tying run. But JFK in the top of the 6th came through with 3 straight hits, and it was Valentina Mercado who in the 4th had tripled and then was picked off at third base on a double play with the next batter. Coming through, making up for that mistake, driving in the go-ahead run, and Kylie Milage. And Kozo gets ready to work against 7, 8, 9 in the order. For Metuchen in the bottom of the 7th, they will have Kylie Flaherty, Annika Frick, and Mary McGrath due up. Olivia Sims has allowed just 3 hits today. Kozo has allowed 8 and 2 earned runs. Only 2 runs allowed, but this has been her second worst start of the season. Only the South Plainfield game was more of a struggle, but still having a great season. The thing that's been really down for her are the strikeout numbers. Only 4 strikeouts through 6 innings. These have been some very disciplined hitters, but 3 of these strikeouts have come from this bottom portion of the order. Which starts with Kisnowski, batting .250, 4 RBI this season. And she's going to drive this one over to second. Pachalski catches it low on the liner, scoops it up from the ground, just kept it from hitting the ground. And that liner gives us out number 1 on the top of the 7th. So 1 away, up comes Rodriguez. She popped out in the 2nd, struck out swinging in the 5th. That one gets a little wild there for Kozo. And a little conversation coming here with the third base ump and Rodriguez. Looks like Rodriguez got a little shaken up there. And it hit her, so she's going to go to first. And it did get off her helmet a little bit. I thought that went off her bat as a foul ball, but it actually got her helmet. But she'll stay in the game. Got a quick check there from the third base umpire. And now JFK has a runner on base with 1 out. Trying to drop to bunt there was Torres. But that got her right around the bill of the helmet. Looks like she's okay, but that was a little scary. Dropping a perfectly placed bunt. No play at second. Probably a poor decision there by Kozo to throw to second instead of getting the sure out at first because Rodriguez was busting it there, heading to second base. And now there's 2 runners on with Kylie Milage. Torres reaches on a fielder's choice, and now Milage, who's 2 for 3 today with a run scored, will bat with 2 on. Kozo's first pitch. Milage steps into one, pops it up. Kozo coming over, makes the nice catch. Nearly collided with Milage there, but that's going to be the second out. So I'll bring up Lugo here. She's also 2 for 3 with a run scored. Stranded at third back in the 6th. Kozo allowed 3 straight hits and a run, but then got 3 consecutive pop-outs, and now pitching around trouble here as that one is fouled back. Hit batsman. Rodriguez got hit on the helmet, but was okay. Then Torres reached on a fielder's choice where Kozo opted to throw to second, and the tag was late. This one grounded down to second. Pachalski with a nice sliding stop. Underhanded flick to first. Got Lugo, and that'll end the inning. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th. Metuchen down 1. Last chance coming up for the Bulldogs. Stay with us here. This is the Bulldog Report. Bottom of the 7th, Olivia Sims looking for the complete game and looking to hand Metuchen just their 2nd loss of the season. This would actually, if it ends up being a defeat for the Bulldogs, be the first loss for the baseball or softball team that we've broadcasted so far this season. But thanks to our grant from the Metuchen Education Foundation and some help from the media club setting all this up, we're really glad that we've been able to stream these games, and it's a little different, but you know what? It's comfortable. We got the air conditioner cooking here in the press box, and though I'm facing the track, I know all the softball action is going on behind me, calling it off a computer monitor and having fun doing it. So thank you once again to Ben Solaski for helping us out. If you're interested in joining the media club, that's his club. You can help out with this. Also participate in film competitions and produce other sorts of videos and content. You can contact him if you'd like to join. He's a sophomore and he's the student advisor and student president of the club. So you can contact Ben Solaski if you're interested. Well, once again, this is Eddie Kalegi here on the Bulldog Report. And another Metuchen game against a GMC White Division opponent that's going to come down to the wire. It was a Flaherty sister who nearly provided the big difference against South Plainfield. It was Leslie Flaherty who hit a go-ahead 2-run home run to make it 6-5 Metuchen in the top of the 7th. But Kozo allowed 2 in the bottom of the 7th. And they ended up falling 7-6 despite an incredible diving play by Mia Zapp and a big effort. 2-1. Sims, the first pitch to Kylie Flaherty, gets by. Flaherty has 2 home runs this season. Both came in the same inning against Bridgewater Raritan last weekend. Kylie Flaherty, Annika Frick, who's driven in the only Metuchen run, and Mary McGrath are due up here in the 7th inning. Here's the pitch from Sims. Flaherty takes that one in there for a strike.
Here are the results of the girls' sophomore shot put. Top 6.
Here's the pitch. This one cut on and fouled hard back of the screen. 2 strikes now to Flaherty. Batting .462, 2 homers, 12 RBI this season. Metuchen does not have an extra base hit in this one. Last 2 home games, they have not had an extra base hit. Both ones we've done this week. They did survive to beat Middlesex 5-1 back on Tuesday, with a lot of singles and walks, but we're disciplined and we're able to work some walks, something they have struggled to do so far today. Not a single walk issued by either pitcher. 1 hit by pitch by Kozo. Flaherty bounces one to second, fielded cleanly. No, it's not. Actually, that's going to get through. So she booted that one. And it's going to be a leadoff single for Flaherty. And Metuchen has the tying run at first with Annika Frick coming up. So misplayed there over at second base by Lugo. Pinch runner is in for Flaherty. I think that's Swikowski. Believe it's Julia Swikowski, who scored a run this season as a pinch runner and is 0 for 3 at the plate. Infield comes in, looking for a possible bunt. Frick is going to swing and fire away. It is behind on that one for a strike. So bottom 7 for those just joining us. Eddie Kalegi on the Bulldog Report. Metuchen trailing 2-1. A win, and they tie their best start since 2013. But behind right now. And Frick now behind 0-2 against Sims. Swikowski the runner at first. Mary McGrath and Carly Pachalski, who are combined 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts today, are the next 2 batters. Frick hoping to come through. She's already driven in a run today. That one is going to miss upstairs for a ball. Very close to strike 3 called. Now it's 1-2. Here's the pitch. That one's going to miss upstairs as well. So back-to-back, way up in the zone from Sims. We have not seen her miss high much except for the first inning when she was just getting warmed up and threw a couple of wild pitches early. Swikowski at first. Nobody out. Bottom of the 7th. Bulldogs down by 1. Here's the pitch to Frick. Ground ball over to second. Can she field it cleanly this time? She will. They'll get the lead runner. Frick easily safe at first. But the fielder's choice gets the first out. And Swikowski is thrown out. So now Frick at first. And this will bring up Mary McGrath, who is due, hitting .345 this season, but has looked pretty lifeless in both of her previous plate appearances today. 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. And she swings and misses at that one, 0-1. Olivia Sims, what a game. Has struck out 8 batters through 6 1/3. Allowed 4 hits and no runs. Big bunt there by McGrath. They'll get the runner over to second, and now Frick is caught up in a rundown between second and third. Coming over, trying to get her, unsure what to do. They'll throw to third. She is out. I don't know why Annika Frick took that big turn, but that's going to do it. Annika Frick gets thrown out trying to go to third base. Metuchen loses on a double play 2-1. And actually, our scoring must have been wrong because it's actually 1-1. So that runner was out earlier. So apologies for that. Of course, there was a lot of lack of clarity. The athletic director, John Cathcart, said a run did score. I was confused because of the number of the batters that came up in the inning, that I thought there was an issue with someone passing someone on the base paths. So actually, this game continues. So apologies for that. We're going to go to extra innings. But regardless, very puzzling decision by Annika Frick, where she had already advanced to second and basically just stood there dead in the water between second and third, and then made a break for third, and it was an easy throw to get her. Now, we did see a similar play to that in the baseball game on Wednesday when Josh Slewitsky somehow got back to second base and a run down where everybody thought he was out, but Turns out there was a lot of confusion, and I was very unsure what had actually happened in the first inning, because I saw the third base coach for JFK did not look very happy, and it turns out no runs scored then, so it's actually 1-1 here, and we go to the top of the 8th. And it'll be Marissa Lugo here. Pardon me, Valentina Mercado leading off, 3-4-5 in the order. She's 2 for 3 with a triple and a single and reached on a fielder's choice. Only player in this game who's been on base all 3 times. Ground ball to short. Throw by Zapp is going to get her for the first out. So a nice play there by Zapp for the first out of the 8th. And this one to Olivia Sims is going to be in there for a strike. And Kozo pitching well here, trying to get in a groove. Like we said, she's been back and forth today, has allowed a couple of hits on 3 different occasions, strung in a row, primarily to the top of the order. And now she's ahead 1-2 against Sims, looking for her 5th punch out of the day. Pitching into the 8th inning, Metuchen will have Pachalski, Zapp, and Leaf due up in the bottom of the 8th. And it's 2-2 now, as that one misses a little off the plate. Ground ball to third, and it's going to get right past a Bill Buckner play as it goes through the legs of McGrath. Heading over to second, the throw to second. She slides in safe. The sharp grounder eats up McGrath. A big throw from Frick to second. They nearly tagged Sims. But now JFK has the go-ahead run in scoring position. So an error right there gets Sims to second. And that'll bring up Rosario. First pitch in there for a strike. Dropping to bunt, pulling it back. In there for a strike. Sims goes back to second. So 2 strikes now to Rosario, who's 1 for 3 with a single, a fly out, and a pop out today. And that's upstairs for a ball.
At this time, we're going to get a first ball all freshman and sophomore boys.
Here's the pitch from Kozo. That one's going to miss low for a ball. Sims goes back to second. JFK doing a good job taking pitches, trying to work a lengthy inning. Into extra innings here for Metuchen. This is going to be a challenge. This one popped up into left center. Long run. Frick drifts back, makes the catch. Sims tags. She'll head to third. Throw is on target to McGrath, but Sims is in safely. Another nice throw from Frick, second of the inning. But Sims gets the third on the flyout. And that'll bring up Gianna Rios now with 2 outs, runner on third, and a tie game in the top of the 8th. Rios is 0 for 3, 2 ground outs and a pop out. Has not hit it out of the infield yet today. Both pitchers have been solid. Both lineups have tried their best against these 2 aces. It's really been the defense which has been the difference on a couple of these plays. Of course, Metuchen did allow a few hits in a row from Kozo, but Metuchen got their 1 run thanks to a couple of defensive miscues in the second. So since there was actually no scoring in the top of the first in that confusion, first run came for Metuchen in the second. As a swing and a miss there, 2 strikes now to Rios. And then JFK even the score in the top of the 6th to make it 1-1. Metuchen had a chance to potentially win it in the 7th, but Annika Frick was thrown out between 2nd and 3rd. That one's upstairs for a ball. I'm lucky that it was a tie game, because that mistake by Frick on the base paths could have been very costly. But Metuchen needs to get something rolling on offense, but before that, they have to worry about retiring Rios here. With 2 strikes and a runner at 3rd, with 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. An exciting game, tied at 1 here between JFK and Metuchen. Like we said, these teams don't match up often since they're in different divisions. They did play once in 2019. With Metuchen putting up a nice fight against this team that went 21-3 in 19 and made it to the GMC Championship, losing 5-4. As Kozo's pitch is up and away for a ball. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, got her. Abby Kozo with a huge strikeout there. Strikeout number 5, and that retires the side. So an error by McGrath gets Sims to 3rd, but nothing more. Metuchen will try to win it in the bottom of the 8th. Tie game here. Eddie Kalegi live on the Bulldog Report. So, bottom of the 8th, Olivia Sims gets ready to continue to work. She's through 7 innings to this point, has allowed 4 hits, no runs, and has been cruising. Ten strikeouts for Sims, who came into this one with 123 strikeouts through 66 innings pitched, and she'll get an 8th inning here. Metuchen got a leadoff single from Flaherty in the bottom of the 7th. They pinch ran with Swikowski. A fielder's choice put Frick on with 1 out. McGrath then hit a ground ball. She was out at first. Frick tried to go from 2nd to 3rd, got caught in a rundown. And the Bulldogs were turned away. Now they'll see if they can try to come back and win this one, as that first pitch is going to miss for a ball here to Pachalski, who's 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. Hard cut, and that's fouled back. Metuchen's had some thrilling moments this season, some good, some bad. Bridgewater Raritan, that 13-12 offensive slugfest that they came back and won with a big offensive explosion. Then, of course, that close game against South Plainfield that they could not close the deal on. But this GMC White Division opponent, they'll hope to beat here.
We're good.
Led 1-0 until the 6th inning. JFK tied it. And this one is swung on and missed. It'll be a throw to first and on target for the first out. So Pachalski strikes out for the 3rd time today. 11 strikeouts through 7 1/3 innings for Olivia Sims. And that's the first out of the bottom of the 8th. So Mia Zapp will bat next. 4th time she's been up. She's 0 for 3 so far today. Strikeout, ground, and 2 ground outs. 1 to the pitcher, 1 to second. This one is grounded, screeching down the first base line, but foul. If that had stayed fair, that probably would have gotten her at least 2 bases. 7, 8, 9, 1, and 2 in the Metuchen order is a combined 1 for 15 today with 7 strikeouts. It's been a tough day there. 3 through 6 has been a little better. And Zap chops that one foul. 2 strikes here to Mia Zap with Noel Leaf, the senior, due up next. Here in the bottom of the 8th. 1-1 game. Sims toes the rubber. Here's the pitch. That one upstairs for a ball. Sims, the offering, the pitch, fouled back. Sims steps off the mound. Adjusts her mask and heads back. Here's the pitch to Zap. That one is low and inside. Count full to Mia Zap with Noel Leaf on deck. Here in the bottom of the 8th. Fun game so far, and it's going to come down to the wire. Here's the pitch to Zap. Upstairs, ball 4. Zap works a walk, and Metuchen's got the winning run at first with 1 out. And it's their fastest player in Mia Zap. Perfect opportunity now for Noel Leaf to come up big. 0 for 3, a ground out, 2 strikeouts, 371 on the season, 7 RBI. And looking to get it to their 2 big sluggers, Kozo and De La Fuente, are in the waiting arms on deck. First pitch to Leaf, grounded foul. Leaf has been struggling, so I think the main goal here is to see if she can do something. Get a ground ball, get a fly ball, do something to get the runner over to second base. Or hope potentially try to work an at bat and hope Sims, who started to lose control, has some trouble as that one hits off the bubble back there and it's quickly 0-2. Zap has been going on every pitch. Oh and 2 to Noel Leaf. Here's the pitch. That one is high. Zap's going to go to second. Sliding in. Throw is not even there. Well in front of the bag. Rosario digs it out, but Zap is now in scoring position. So the most important job is done. Zap is in scoring position, so a base hit could likely win it. Anything to the outfield that gets down for a hit, I'd assume they'd probably send Zap in this scenario. Leaf fouls another one off, so she keeps fighting on. Abby Kozo is on deck. Eddie Kalegi here on the Bulldog Report. We've gotten a lot more viewers, so thank you to everybody tuning in. Great game so far. Metuchen scored once in the 2nd. JFK even the score in the 6th. Sims and Kozo both on their game. Leaf with a ground ball to 3rd. Fielded, throw to 1st. In time, throw to 3rd will be late. So a ground ball, Zap to 3rd, base hit wins it for Abby Kozo. So perfectly timed. We've already seen Frick thrown out trying to go from 2nd to 3rd. We've also seen on the other side when Mercado was picked off on a double play between 3rd and home. Base running has not been great today, but Zap has worked her way over to 3rd wisely. With the steal. And then advancing there. Now Kozo looks to come through. 1 for 3 today. Here's the pitch from Sims. Kozo hits a ground ball to 2nd. Fielded cleanly. Throw to 1st. She slides. She's out. Kozo dove in there but couldn't get there. And we'll head to the 9th inning. Great effort, but Zap stranded at 3rd. Through 8, extra innings continue. Tie game, 1-1 between Metuchen and JFK. This is Eddie Kalegi right here on the Bulldog Report. Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment. Top of the 9th inning. Metuchen gave it everything they had to try to win it in the 8th. Zapp drew a one-out walk, advanced to second on a steal, got to third on a ground ball. Kozos with the rare head-first slide into first base to try to beat the tag. Smart play by her, but could not get in time as it was fielded cleanly by Marissa Luga. Kozo will face the bottom of the order. Kaznowski, Rodriguez, and Torres, who she cruised through the first 2 times through. But last time, hit Rodriguez on the helmet with a pitch, right on the brim. She stayed in the game. Then Torres reached on a fielder's choice back in the 7th as JFK threatened but could not take the lead. Here's the first pitch from Kozo. That one's in there for a strike, 0-1 to Kaznowski. 0 for 3, a ground out, a fly out, and a line out to second. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Kozo. That one's upstairs for a ball. And like I said earlier about potential growth of this program, maybe moving into a higher division in the future, these are the kinds of statement games competing with a team like JFK, like they did with South Plainfield, that really proves Metuchen's worth. And like I said, this is all with freshmen and sophomores. All but 3 players on this team don't have really any softball experience whatsoever playing high school ball. This one popped up third base side and out of play. So it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to the junior Kaznowski. That one is off the plate for a ball. Kozo, the one thing that's a little different, not racking up the strikeouts today. Had 60 strikeouts this season. But similar to the South Plainfield game, she's been a much more hittable pitcher. Still pitching great, only allowed a run through 8 innings, as that one's fouled off. She's only struck out 5 today, including getting Rios to end the 8th. There's the pitch. Ground ball to third base. McGrath fields it cleanly, throws to first, a little offline, but Flaherty stays on the bag, and that's the first out of the top of the 9th. So up next, Jalen Rodriguez hit with a pitch. Stranded at second in the 7th. Struck out in the 5th. Popped out in the 2nd. And Kozo's first pitch is upstairs for a ball. One 0. Popped up, third base side. McGrath ranges over, makes the catch on the run, 2 away. So 2 quick outs. Torres up next. Metuchen does have a potent section of their lineup. Brianna De La Fuente, who's a big power hitter. Leslie Flaherty, who came up clutch against South Plainfield. And Kylie Flaherty, 4, 5, 6, will be due up in the bottom of the 9th. This is Maya Torres. 0 for 2, reached on a fielder's choice back in the 7th and is struck out twice. And she swings and misses, and Kozo quickly getting ahead. For the first time, we might actually have a game that outlasts the track meet going on in front of me as Torres chases another one out of the zone. Kozo ahead 1-2. Melange is on deck, hoping to get her 5th at bat. And that one's on the outside corner, strike 3 called. 6 strikeouts for Abby Kozo. She gets through the 9th inning unscathed. She's retired 5 in a row, 2 by strikeouts, and is cruising. Now Metuchen looks to threaten again. Bottom of the 9th, tie game here between Metuchen and JFK. Heart of the order coming up for the Dogs. This is Eddie Kalegi here on the Bulldog Report. Bottom of the 9th inning. What a game here between JFK and Metuchen. The Island Kennedy Mustangs coming in at 9-4, 8-3 in the white division in the midst of a 4-game win streak where they've outscored their opponents a combined 37-4 against some easier teams in the white division. Metuchen, on the other hand, 11-1. Their only loss against South Plainfield. They're 9-0 in the blue division ahead of Spotswood and Denellen, who are both sitting at 9-2 in divisional play, and coming off of an 18-0 drubbing of South River yesterday where they scored 6 runs in the first inning. Complete dichotomy today for Coach Thomas and Coach Gallagher's teams, as it's 1-1 here in the bottom of the 9th. Metuchen's only run came on a couple of defensive blunders by JFK in the second. An infield single by De La Fuente brought home by Frick, and this one is roped by De La Fuente into left center field for a base hit. That's going to roll out to second base. De La Fuente is going to head to third. She's going to keep going. They're going to wave her around third. Now she's going to come back. As the throw comes back home, she dives into third. Heads up play. She was initially being waved home there by Coach Thomas. But what a swing, and she's 90 feet away from giving the Bulldogs the victory. De La Fuente started the last rally and now gets down to third base. What a swing out into the left center field gap. The bench is pumped. Leslie Flaherty looking to bring home the game-winning RBI with a runner on third and nobody out. That was wise by De La Fuente. You know you want to be aggressive and win it, but with nobody out, you don't want to go crazy. And they're going to intentionally walk Leslie Flaherty, and they're going to intentionally walk Kylie Flaherty to get to the bottom of the order. So force plays everywhere now with the bases loaded, and Annika Frick, who has an RBI already today, coming up. And Coach Maureen Gallagher will head out, as does the infield, as does the catcher, to try to inspire Olivia Sims. And you know she's going to be trying to induce a ground ball because a force at any base, if they throw it home, step on the bag, that's an out. So De La Fuente, a leadoff triple, back-to-back intentional walks. The first 2 walks issued by either pitcher all day. But Metuchen got that 1 run in the second on an RBI single by Annika Frick on a misplayed ball by Karnowski in right field. JFK came back in the 6th inning. Valentina Mercado, who had gotten doubled off at third base earlier when they could have tied the game, makes up for it with an RBI single to make it 1-1. That's their score since, but now bases loaded, nobody out for Annika Frick, and Sims gets ready to deal. Here's the first pitch. Frick fouls one back, 0-1. Annika Frick, 1 for 2, been on base twice, a single and a fielder's choice, thrown out trying to go to third in the bottom of the 7th. 21 RBI this season. Here's the pitch to Frick. That one is in there for a strike, and it's 0-2. They want Frick to do something because McGrath and Pachalski are combined 0 for 6 with 5 strikeouts and are the next 2 due up. Here's the 0-2. This one is a blooper out to second base. Lugo makes the catch, and De La Fuente's not going anywhere. And that's a huge first out for Olivia Sims to retire Annika Frick. We've seen both Kozo and Sims prove why they're 2 of the best pitchers in the county, working out of major trouble in this game on multiple occasions. And if Sims can somehow get out of this bases loaded, nobody out situation, that would be crucial. And the first pitch to McGrath is in there for a strike. McGrath grounded into a double play, struck out twice, 0 for 3 today. Trying to get one to the outfield, that would likely do it with De La Fuente's speed. 0-1 is fouled quickly back at the screen. And Sims, after the meeting at the mound, has thrown 5 consecutive strikes, and now an 0-2 here against McGrath with Pachalski due up next. Oh-2. Upstairs for a ball, 1-2. Mercado was trying to get them to throw it back to third because De La Fuente was a little off the bag, but she drifts back. Bases loaded, bottom of the 9th. 1 out, tie game. 1 ball, 2 strikes here to McGrath. That one fouled back. Looking to time one up. So many foul balls by Metuchen today. It's just been a little off because Sims' pitchers have had so many instances where they've had such late bite. That's why she has so many strikeouts. 1-2. That one is low. It bounces away. McGrath clears out of the way, but De La Fuente was not going anywhere. Now it's 2-2. Tried to get her to chase in the dirt. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. With the bases loaded, 1 away, tie game, 9th inning. Extras in Metuchen. Ground ball to third. They'll throw home. De La Fuente comes home. A collision at the plate. They're going to say she's safe. Metuchen wins. Rodriguez did not hang on to the ball. De La Fuente barrels home on the bases loaded play. Maureen Gallagher, the coach, is upset, saying that De La Fuente just plowed into her to knock the ball free. But I don't know how secure Rodriguez even had that ball. Metuchen is celebrating. The umpires convene. And it looks like discussion's still happening. Perfectly placed by McGrath, and she may have gotten the game-winning RBI. Maureen Gallagher, you can see down there, is hot. Rodriguez got knocked down hard by De La Fuente. And now the 2 umps convene. At this point, it's really difficult to go the other way on this call. But De La Fuente clearly made contact with her, and that was a reason. And they're going to say no. They're going to say this game continues. And now Coach Hannah Thomas wants an explanation. So call is reversed. De La Fuente is out at home. It's a fielder's choice for McGrath. And the bases are loaded for Pachalski. So Metuchen thought they won it. Umps say no after a huge collision at the plate between De La Fuente and Rodriguez. And there are rules, of course, out there in high school sports especially, trying to combat collisions between runners and catchers, just like there is all the way up to Major League Baseball. And De La Fuente really kind of forced that out of her hand. This one a ground ball. Throwing home, sliding in, and she's out on the force. And Metuchen gets the bases loaded with nobody out and don't score. They celebrated like they'd won. Umpires overturn the call, and we'll head to the 10th inning. Unbelievable. What a crazy game here between Metuchen and Islyn Kennedy. But Olivia Sims, they intentionally walk 2 to create the force play. It works all 3 times. And this game will continue. So we will go to the 10th inning here with the top of the JFK Memorial order coming up. Malaj, Lugo, and Mercado, with the score even at 1. And for Metuchen, that is a crusher, but you need to get back focused at this point. Yes, that's got to be frustrating what happened with De La Fuente there. You thought she scored. I thought she scored. The ball was clearly jarred free. Still a conversation between Metuchen coaches and the umps. I think that's Michelle Huff. Now, Coach Hannah Thomas is calling her back, but Maureen Gallagher was hot on the initial decision. Then the umpires convened to reverse the call. But Metuchen has a wing revoked, and we go to the 10th inning here. Now, Kozo has been pitching really well recently. She's retired 8 of the last 9 batters. Only exception was an error by McGrath, so nothing of her own doing since the 6th inning rally, but that was against these same batters that are coming up here. Malaj is 2 for 4, 2 singles, a run, a strikeout, and a pop-out. Her, Lugo, and Mercado will bat on the 10th. So leading off here, Malaj again steps into one, bunts it, and now heading to third. Is the runner at second. So here in the 10th inning, once you get to this point, runner on second base rule. And Malaj is going to try to bunt her over again, but again it's going to be a foul ball. Very weird form with Malaj, the way that she kind of runs into these pitches. It's almost like she gets a head start before the pitch comes and uses that momentum to try to drive it, but it's worked for her. She's batting .431 this season and has 2 hits today. Runs into another pitch, now a throw back to second. Nobody was covering the base. So Torres is the runner. This is the same rule that they have in the majors. The batter who made the last out gets on base for the next inning, and again we'll drift back as that pitch is outside. Here in the top of the 10th inning. Malaj, drive, caught, throw back to second, almost got the runner. But a nice catch by Flaherty for the first out.
Leaders through 59.
I've had to start drawing on extensions to my scorebook here to keep everything up to date. As we're in the 10th inning now. 1 out, Marissa Lugo. First swing, half swing off to the first base side, out of play. So Metuchen in the bottom of the 10th will have Pachalski as their runner with the top of the order due up. Metuchen has got no runner on base each of the last 4 innings, but have not scratched across a run since the second. This one is driven out through the whole base hit into center field. Rounding third is Torres. She'll come home to score the go-ahead run. Throw is wild, getting back in. Advancing the second is Lugo. It's an RBI single for Marissa Lugo, and JFK takes a 2-1 lead. Now it's a 2-1 game. Thought it was a 2-1 game for 7 innings. Then it was almost a 2-1 Metuchen win. Now it's actually 2-1 for once. An RBI single advancing the second. And now with just 1 out, the opportunity for more with Mercado, who has stung a couple of balls today, has an RBI single and a triple. And that one's rocketed down the third base line, but foul. So now Metuchen will have to score at least a run to continue this game in the bottom of the 10th. And a thank you to everybody tuning in today for today's softball game. Apologies for the miscommunication earlier on the score, but we all know what's going on now as Mercado takes that pitch inside in there for a strike. But Lugo, that was a great swing, fitted in between Zapp and Pachalski, perfectly placed up the middle. This one is popped sky high. Zapp has trouble finding in the sun, but gets to it, and that's out number 2. Lugo first to stay at second. And now Olivia Sims, who's 1 for 4 today, reached 1 for 3, reached on an error. Also grounded into that double play earlier, and that first one is fouled back. But for Metuchen, what could have been with the bases loaded and nobody out, and at first were signaled as the winners, but De La Fuente collided with Rodriguez. They overturned it and said she was out. Ball was forced out of her hands, out of the glove. I think what they're saying is that she stepped on the base then before the collision, because the bases were loaded. It was a force out at any base. She just had to step on home plate. She likely did before De La Fuente ran her over and forced the ball out. And a rare overturn in such a major call as this one is roped out into right center field. That's going to fall, and it's going to get between a couple of outfielders and get into the gap. That'll plate another run, and into second with an RBI double is Olivia Sims. And JFK gets some breathing room and now lead it 3-1. Only the second extra base hit for either team today. Third extra base hit. Metuchen has one. Now 2 here for Islyn Kennedy. And they now lead it 3-1. 10th inning. And this brings up Rosario, who's been quiet. 1 for 4. Couple of flyouts and a pop out and a single back in the 4th. Rosario batting .429 this season. 2 home runs, 17 RBI. And that one's going to miss upstairs for a ball. So Kozo pitched so well, avoided trouble on numerous occasions, but finally, with the runner on second rule in place in the 10th inning, she finally caves and has now allowed 2 runs. Rosario out in front of that one and swings and misses for a strike. The windup, here's the pitch from Kozo to Rosario. This one is blooped over to short. Zap makes the catch, inning over, but JFK scores 2 to take a 3-1 lead. Metuchen will have a runner on second for the bottom of the 10th. Need 2 to tie, need 3 to win. Stay with us to see what happens. Eddie Kalegi here live on the Bulldog Report. You won't miss a thing. We'll be back in a moment. Here we go, bottom of the 10th inning. Thank you to everybody who's tuned in today. Eddie Kalegi here in the Bulldog Report. What a game we've witnessed between Metuchen and JFK. Bulldogs led 1-0 until the 6th. RBI single from Mercado made it 1-1. Metuchen almost won in the 9th, but the call was overturned on the forced play. Said she was out after initially saying De La Fuente was safe. And now Metuchen, with the 10th inning rule in place, Carly Pachalski takes second base. And the top of the order bats here, needing 2 runs to keep this game going. Zap 0 for 3 today with a walk. And she bloops that one off foul to the right side. Upperclassmen boys races are currently going on right now just in front of us, which is probably why it's a little loud for the track meet that has been going since this thing started as well. Pitch to Zap, ground ball to short, fielded cleanly, throw to first, got her, 1 away. Excellent play there by Rosario, who other than 1 overthrow has played a great game at short. This will advance Pachalski to third though. So 1 away, and up comes Leaf, who is due 0 for 4, 2 groundouts, 2 strikeouts. They'd love to get either Leaf or Kozo on and continue this inning for De La Fuente. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Bulldogs down 3-1, looking to avoid their first home loss of the season. JFK looking to pull off a huge statement win here against the top team in the blue division. Leaf gets into one, out to right field, playable for Karnowski. She watches it into her glove. Zap slides home, scores without a throw. Metuchen within 1, but 2 outs. So a sac fly from Noelle Leaf, RBI number 8 on the docket for her this season. They'll brush off the plate and it'll come down to Abby Kozo, who has pitched well but has had a quiet game at the plate today. Had only been retired 9 times all season. She's just 1 for 4 today, which is actually her worst game at the plate so far this season, with a single, a couple of groundouts, and a strikeout. Gets into the first one, goes off the pitcher's glove. Throw to first is going to be late. Kozo's on base with a tying run. Sims has made some nice plays with that glove. 4 1-3 putouts in this game, but not there. It deflects off her glove, and not enough reaction time for Mercado at third, and the throw was late. So now Kozo the tying run at first. De La Fuente, who drilled a first pitch triple last time up and nearly scored, and it was overturned at the plate. And she pops the first one back. 2 outs. The RBI machine in De La Fuente, 25 ribbies this season, 6 home runs. Would love a walk-off 2-run inside the park homer here. 2 outs. Here comes the 0-1 to De La Fuente. She grounds one, 2-2, tough play. And it's going to get through for a base hit. It's bobbled. Throwing into third. Kozo's in safely. It eats up Lugo, and Metuchen's got the tying run at third. Was going to be a tough play anyway. But an error, and now Leslie Flaherty looks to come up clutch. Was intentionally walked last time. 0 for 3 today. Reached on a strikeout, stranded at third. Stranded at third twice in this game. Tying run at third, winning run at first for Metuchen. Down 3-2 in the first pitch from Sims is a swing and a miss for strike 1. Game of the year so far in the Brainy Burrow that we've streamed here on the Bulldog Report. 10th inning, 3-2. Here's the pitch. Flaherty swings and misses up and out of the zone, and the Dogs are down to their final strike. Coach Hannah Thomas with some words for her freshman hitter, who came up with a huge hit against South Plainfield and is hoping to do something here. Kozo the tying run, 90 feet away. No balls, 2 strikes. The pitch from Sims is driven out to right center field. Long run, it's going to get down. Kozo scores. Here comes De La Fuente. She's going to come around third with the winning run, and Metuchen wins. The Bulldogs have done it, and they'll mob Leslie Flaherty at third. They score 3 in the bottom of the 10th and win it 4-3. Magic in Metuchen, and the Dogs have their best start since 2013. Leslie Flaherty, the freshman, delivers in the clutch again and hits one deep past the left center field. What a game for Metuchen. Nearly won it in the bottom of the 9th. Give up 2 in the top of the 10th. Rally for 3 against one of the top pitchers in the GMC and Olivia Sims in the bottom of the 10th inning and win it 4-3. The game of the year, the win of the year, Metuchen is 12-1 as JFK falls to 9-5. What an unbelievable game, and what a finish. Metuchen comes up big with 2 outs in the 10th inning. A single by De La Fuente after Kozo reached, and Leslie Flaherty wins it with a 2-run walk-off triple, and the Dogs come up and prevail 4-3. What a win for Metuchen as they come from behind in a wild game. Be sure to join us next time as Metuchen improves to 12-1 on the season. For Eddie Kalegi, this is the Bulldog Report. Congratulations to the Lady Bulldogs on picking up the victory. Their best start since 2013. They're 12-1 as they defeat the JFK Island Kennedy Memorial Mustangs 4-3. We hope you have a great weekend. This is Eddie Kalegi signing off on the Bulldog Report.
What a game.